You don't have to be Jill Hutchison to understand what the Caitlin Clark craze has done for women's college basketball. There are unprecedented levels of popularity, exposure, and viewership. Tonight's Iowa-LSU rematch featuring Clark and LSU's Angel Reese will be must-see TV. That said, to fully appreciate where the women's game is, it helps to be Hutchison. The former Illinois State University coach was on the ground floor of all of this, helping organize and coaching in the first women's national tournament at Horton Fieldhouse in 1972. In this interview with WJLT correspondent Randy Kindred, Hutchison says she is thrilled to see the sport grow to where it is today.
One, the game has progressed to a better level, and obviously Caitlin Clark is the cream of the crop right now. She's just amazing. And the fact that the public is starting to enjoy the game is phenomenal to me, because I think the women's game is different than the men's. The men's game is more of a power game above the rim. The women's game is more finesse and I think more skill oriented. So it's fun to watch, and I think people are finally realizing that. And you know, Caitlin has brought a ton of attention to the game, but you're absolutely accurate. There are so many other teams that are drawing extremely well and have a good fan base, and people are getting behind them, and there's a lot of young, good talent.
As far as Caitlin Clark as a player, obviously everybody starts with how many points she has accumulated over her career, but her assist totals are pretty amazing, and even rebounding, and it seems like she's got the kind of all-around game that maybe you would hope that young players that are watching would say, hey, it's pretty cool to pass too, instead of just score all the points.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that people have realized what a great assist person she is. You know, she attracts so much attention from the defense that it's always going to leave somebody open, and she's a good passer, and her timing is exquisite. You know, the thing nobody talks about is her defense, and I think they have to save her on defense to be sure they have her on offense. But that team at Iowa and those three seniors are really impressive, and the three of them have been, you know, like the three musketeers of women's basketball this year.
Yeah, and I guess it says a lot maybe for those other two seniors who obviously they've gotten a lot of attention, but it's in most people's minds from the outside, all they want to talk about is Caitlin. So they've done a pretty good job of just being a part of that and being a big parts of it without, at least outwardly, showing any jealousy towards all the attention she's getting.
You know, as a coach, I would have been very worried about the locker room and how everything melds together, and you're absolutely right that the seniors have accepted their role. They've got a bond. I think Caitlin Clark does a really nice job of complimenting those people around her and showing the love to the other two seniors especially, but even within the team, how people have handled her stardom has been, and how she's handled it. I mean, I can't imagine what that young lady goes through on a daily basis with the media attention, just walking across campus. I'm sure she's getting all kinds of attention, and to deal with that, play the game, go to school, live a life. I mean, she's got a lot on her plate.
As someone who was at Horton Fieldhouse in 1972 when the first forerunner to the national tournament was the AIAW tournament, and it was a 16-team tournament
Right.
That was the first one that teams had to qualify to get in, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Did you have even then the sense that this is pretty exciting, that it might lead to something?
Yeah, absolutely. I bet we didn't have 50 people in the stands for the opening ceremonies, and you know, the crowds were atrocious. But just the fact that we finally had a national championship, that it brought everybody in the country together, they had to qualify, that was huge at the time. And I think it's grown from that. To see where the game was then and where we are now 50 years later is just thrilling to me. One, the quality of the play is better, the coaching is better, crowds are better, it's entertaining. it's just exciting to see the growth in the game. And we've got so many good young players. It's going to continue to improve.
When that tournament came about, obviously you were in your second year as ISU's coach, I think,
Yeah.
But in addition to coaching your own team, you were in on helping set up, helping determine how teams qualified and some of the rules and what officials would. And so there was a lot of other stuff that you were involved with that tournament, and the uniforms you're wearing were the same ones that wore for volleyball and softball, right? I mean, it's just that kind of thing is incredible by what you see with Caitlin Clark and everything that's happening today.
I'm grateful that I was able to be around when we started and to have some influence on what happened, but I'm even more excited about where they are and where they're going. And the future's really bright for women's sports, period. And we always felt that basketball should be the flagship because it would attract the attention. And if it was successful, we could bring the other sports along. And I'm not sure we're bringing them. I think volleyball has established themselves. Softball has, soccer has, golf, tennis, all of them. But just the fact that girls can compete, they can really follow their passion, they have the chance to be as good as they want to be. I think it's fantastic. I'm excited about it.
That's former ISU basketball coach Jill Hutchison speaking with WGLT correspondent Randy Kindred. The Iowa-LSU game tips off at 6:15 tonight on ESPN. One final note. Last week on Sound Ideas, we brought you the story of Pastor Tim Allison of Reconcile Church in Bloomington. He was looking to break his national bench press record, and we're happy to report that Pastor Tim crushed his 501-pound record, setting the new bar at 507 pounds. And he made it home in time to give his Easter sermon on Sunday morning.